I felt like they robbed me. I felt like I got robbed again this week. Let me tell you what happened. So I need a root canal, and it was starting to hurt. And I was like, all right, let's do this. Emergency dentist appointment. So I go to this website. I book an emergency dentist appointment with these people called Tend, Tend, in Buckhead here in Atlanta. It's very, very fancy dentist office, supposedly.
Fancy emergency dentist. Okay.
Yeah. Like it's like $250 to book the appointment. I was like, all right, let's go. This is going to be a procedure anyway. I figured in my head, like worst case scenario, root canal is $2,000. I'm prepared for that number if it gets that crazy. But I figured probably 1,200 is more likely. But I'm excited about the place because they're asking me what kind of TV I want to watch while they're working on me. They're asking me like what flavor, like stuff they want to use on me. So I'm picking how it's made. I tell them I want the watermelon. I'm very excited. I go in for my this is the place. Laura, it said, Kyle, we've prepped this suite just for you. And there's another TV on the ceiling that you can't see for when you're laid back.
Is this really the place, or am I being gullible?
This is exactly the place. I think this is exactly the place where I went. And so I'm in the chair and everything, and the lady comes in, and I tell her, I'm here for the emergency dentist appointment. I need a root canal. And let's pull this wisdom tooth too while we're here. That back left wisdom tooth, it's cracked. We don't need him around if he's gonna give up on us like that. Just pull him out, and I'll be out of here. And she does like an X-ray, gets a better look at it. She says, "All right, so we can schedule you an appointment with the dentist for a couple weeks from now, and he'll get that root canal sorted." And I'm like, what are we talking about? Who was that Asian lady who just came in here a minute ago with the white coat? The Dr. Kim, where'd she go? Oh, Dr. Kim can't do root canals. No one here can. We don't do those. The people at Tend are thieves. What they do, what they are, what they are. I'm sure there probably should be a Google review that says something like, they clean teeth at Tend. Them taking an emergency dental appointment is literally theft. Because
what if you had a date that night?
They do not provide emergency dental care there. And I explained, I had this long phone conversation with somebody with them in New York, in their New York office. And I was like, it's like I showed up to get an oil change and you took my car in the back. No, I walked up. I said, hey, I want an oil change. Take my car. You took my car. You diagnosed it up and down. You said, hey, we ran the diagnosis. That'll be $500. You really need an oil change. Did you know that? We're going to schedule you with the oil change guy. He's across town. That's what they did. Or if it'd be like going to emergency care.
$2,000.
If you went to emergency care and you said, I have a gash, I have a huge wound here, what can you do for me? And they bandaged you and then sent you to the guy who can do stitches, you'd be shocked. You're like, you guys don't do stitches? When I think emergency dental care, the first thing I think of is a root canal.
Yeah, that or wisdom teeth. Things.
Yeah. They can't do that at Tend. They're liars there, and they will steal $500 from you.
$500?
You get your money back?
They are they won't. No, absolutely, they won't give me my money back. They are thieves there at Tend. They will charge you $250 for making an appointment for something they cannot do, and then charge you for X-rays that you thought were for your. She's like, well, we needed the X-rays to determine whether you needed a root canal or not. I was like, I asked you for one. I'm here for the root canal. I checked the box. I'm like, look, the holes has a tooth. The tooth has a hole in it. Like I ordered the root canal. You
thought you were getting the procedures same time, right? Because I
thought this was happening usually, now. Because the last time I did this,
emergency means now.
The last root canal I did, I walked in, and we had a root canal right then. He was like, "Oh, you need a root canal? Sit back and here we go." And he performed a root canal and like packed my mouth full of gauze and sent me home with some medicine. These people are the worst. They're the absolute worst. They are tooth cleaners with a scammy website.
Did you like the television?
They didn't even play my program. I never got to watch how it's made.
Did you get the watermelon?
No, there was nothing to put watermelon on.
You were had. Man.
Yeah, this is a scam. My dentist office will play your favorite show. But it's not like you don't reserve it in advance. They're like, oh, what do you want? Netflix, HBO Go?
You're going to go back there in 3 weeks.
You're on the spot picking a Netflix show. Like, you feel like you have to choose it within seconds. This is usually a procedure for me.
You're gonna go back in like 3 weeks, and it'll be a shawarma hut, and that one they just up and left to the next town of Rubes to take advantage of. Yeah, that sucks, man. So how'd they get the second 250 from you? I thought it was 250 to book
they
it.
got my card.
X-rays.
It's for X-rays and stuff, and like the visit and everything they did.
250 for teeth cleaning, 250 for X-rays.
They didn't clean my teeth. They didn't clean my teeth. No.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I know they don't clean.
They didn't even do the only thing
over your 480p.
No, they didn't clean my teeth. No, we sat down and it was very upsetting.
That sounds like a scam. Sounds like a scam. They knowingly took your money, knowing that you were someone who was in dire need of dental care. You were in pain, and they stole your money, not legally stealing, but spiritually stealing from you.
Spiritually? They charged my card. They won't give me my money back. They literally
they have stolen from you, Mr. No Source Selected.
What happened to his video?
What did it do?
Kyle, you have to choose a source from the drop down on the left. Okay, you're back. You're good. You're back.
No, I'm very upset with the people at Tend. I feel that they run a scam business. And they are tooth cleaners at best. Dentists, they are not. If you can't do it now, you're not a dentist, just so you know. Anyone out there who's like calls himself a dentist, but they can't perform a root canal, you're a tooth cleaner with a badge.
I'm pretty sure literally every real dentist can do tooth cleanings. What you saw was a woman in a white coat who was a dental hygienist, like pretending. Like,
no, that was a black woman.
That's like day 3.
No, the black woman was the dental hygienist. She looked like Jada Pinkett Smith, and she lied to me too. She made it seem like there was going to be a root canal today. She's like, let's see if we can get feeling better. And at one point, they offered to quote numb me up.
What for?
They literally said,
numb you up.
She literally said, all we could do is maybe numb you up. And
for the pain of the infected tooth,
But yeah, I want Novocaine. I want you to jab me full, like kill the. I'm like, for what? They appoint me in 2 weeks. What am I coming every day? You're gonna knock me up with a few shots in my gums?
You should have got some nitrous oxide out of their visit. It's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a little nitrous oxide. We're gonna numb that mouth up, and we're gonna put a little numbing right here by the kidneys.
I should have gotten my money back. I should have gotten my money back. An apology. It was very.
You should get a whole new
nitrous oxide's fun. You should have done that.
Well, I could buy that. A whole set of teeth on the house.
They sell nitrous oxide on the internet?
I'm sure. I mean, it's just a gas.
Good. Yeah.
It's not like you're buying plutonium. I bet you could buy huge quantities if you really want it.
Is it NO2?
I
bet it is.
Sounds about right.
I don't know.
I think this is the kind of thing you want to be exact on, though. Because NO3 is definitely going to kill you.
It looks like there's a place that called Party Gas 24 that sells it. It seems like they know exactly what you're buying it for.
Yeah, a party for balloons.
Do you like balloons that don't float but but have something different in them? Well, this is the place for you.
Is N2O NO2 is that flammable? Oh, based on the picture on the side of the box, answer is yes. That was a flame in the middle of it, either a yellow or a red triangle. Which
that'd be dangerous.
Yeah, that isn't good for a birthday at all. They should use helium unless they're not using it for birthday parties.
Yeah, so
maybe it's just NO.
So don't go to Tend. They'll just clean your teeth and they'll leave you in pain.
And apparently, they won't even clean your teeth.
They won't even clean your teeth. I'm sure they would if I just sit in that chair a moment longer. But I was like, so let me get this straight. You can't do anything for me today.
Kyle ain't no. She just pays for cleaning.
I don't have my card.
Don't talk to him like he's a pussy. He only pays.
Yeah, you can keep my money. My podcast listeners are going to hear about this one.
I'm sure as hell not getting this
right now. I have no other recourse. What am I going to do? Show back up tonight? Like I can't do anything. And like the lady
where she and her family like to go out to eat.
I'm gonna find out where you have dinner tonight, ma'am, and we're gonna be outside peacefully.
Peacefully.
Don't feel threatened at all.
Yes.
No, like the lady who's like the receptionist. I was not rude to this woman. I just said, just so you know, because we'd spoken before I went in, and I was like, this place is nice, huh? It's pretty fancy. I like the look. It's in a really fancy location. That's another reason why it made no sense for them not to be able to do root canals. I was like, my little podunk town in Hartwell, Georgia, there's an old white dude that'll pull that right out of your head. Okay. He'll take care of it. But we're in like,
he's a boat mechanic though. So
I turned around and like opened my arms wide out to the street outside, because we're in such a fancy area. Like, I just drove past a castle that a person lives in. There's like an $8 million home like right there. And like, you can't pull a tooth in here. And I was super upset. Yeah, it's awful.
Are you?
But I said something like that. I said something like, just so you know, you guys don't have any dentists back there. You guys clean teeth here. And she got real upset, like I was being threatening or something. Like, I don't know why you're. She got all like flustered, and I was like, "What are you so? What's your problem now? Are you scared or something?"
Put your shirt back on.
I was hot. I had to take it off.
And it is at that point, Your Honor, that he took his shirt off and said, and I quote, "I'll clean your teeth," and then clapped over the counter. No, yeah. Are you in pain? Like, are you?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Are you? So, are you gonna wait the time period, or are you gonna cut your losses and try and get somebody like tomorrow?
I would rather pull this out with pliers myself than do business with those. Okay, I will do my own dentistry before I go back to them. I will get a different dentist if I have to drive to Hartwell, Georgia, to get my old dentist to do it. But I will not go back to them. That's what I said. So no dentistry will be done today. She's like, no, we don't do that here.
No, we don't have.
And I was like, well, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. It doesn't sound like you do anything for me. And so I did. They charged me.
So you're going to find a different clinic that does dental procedures.
I'm going to find a dentist's office, because I went to some sort of tooth cleaners anonymous place or something.
Was there anybody else there?
It's like a horse barn with those like that room you saw is like a trough. Like there's so many of those in a row, and you could just hear the sounds of Mr. Thirsty going off and drills buzzing everywhere. So yeah, it was super busy in there.
So there was a dentist somewhere, but there was no dentist for you.
Met her. She cleans teeth. She supervises the tooth cleaning lady. I'm telling you, they brush teeth in there. We could, three of us could run that place. You operate the little sharp hook thing. Woody, you make people's gums bleed, and I'll drill the black spot.
And I want to be the guy who, as they're checking out, I tell them how it's all their fault and that their trip would have gone better had they taken responsibility for their oral health. Because remember that those hygienists, at least I remember, like when you would complain about like your gums bleeding, they'd be like, well, that's probably the same reason that your gums bleed when you brush, is because you're not taking care of them. It's like, my gums have not bled when I've brushed ever in years.
My gums always bleed, like every single time. Don't you?
Every time you brush, your gums bleed?
Every time I eat.
I'm getting lightheaded.
They're so rough.
Yeah.
I saw a guy fix a broken bone. Oh my God. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, it was brutal. So it was a forearm, and he is just bending this forearm. like I thought they'd sort of pull it apart and gently put it back together the way they found it. Oh no. He's just whacking that thing like it's an additional elbow until he's like, straighten it out. It was rough, and yeah.
And then someone bursts into the room. Adam, for the last time, you don't work here.
He's got the bone saw.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're that rough on procedures like that. Like, I'm thinking of specifically things like liposuction and breast implants that I've seen done, and it's like they're being so rough. It reminds me, my dad and my uncle had a business in the early '80s making conversion vans. Painting them and like putting stripes on them, and they could do it really fast.
Yeah. That's why you drive around the South and kidnap gay people and threaten them till they're straight.
Yeah, they're very popular at the time. Yeah. And my uncle would get on the left side, my dad would get on the right side, and they would they could paint this vehicle and have it out the door in like minutes, like 20 minutes. They could have this car painted and out, and a new one's coming in. And there's 4 people working on these things continuously in an assembly line. Their wives were working too, my mom and my aunt. You know, they're everybody's got a job and they know what to do, and it's the same job over and over, just different colors. So they're knocking these things out. That's because they get paid per van. These doctors need to slow the fuck down. Like that's just trauma you're having to heal from. I'm sure when he's doing all that bending, like he's bruising the fuck out of you, right? That's got to be.
I mean, the reason that like your dentist, like think about this, like a dentist, for example, they work on turn also. Those hygienists are making your gums bleed, not because of rampant gingivitis in most circumstances. It's because their boss is telling them, you need to get that fucker in the chair and done in 28 minutes so that we can hit our turn rate to make more money this quarter. And so they're in there scraping, doing this and that. Oh, your gums are bleeding. Like, I really believed my whole life, like, man, I never get bloody gums unless I go to the dentist. I take good care of my teeth. Didn't realize that until like I was a full-on adult. Like, oh, like I'm just a turn patient. That's why they're scraping, recklessly poking you, saying it's like an ethereal gingivitis issue. It's like, no, I think it's a metal implement issue because that seems to be the commonality here.
Next time they say that to me, the dentist, I'm going to ask how many gums are bleeding, and then I'm going to multiply that number by a dollar amount. And I'll be like, oh, okay, we'll deduct $57 then from today's bill. You've look, wait, what? Yeah, look, if you were detailing my car and you scratched the door up, I wouldn't pay full price for that either. Sir, you've injured me during this medical procedure. You're lucky I'm not going malpractice with this. Let's hope infection doesn't set in. Let's hope infection doesn't set in. I can make it class action. I saw a little girl with braces run out of here crying earlier. I'll chase her fucking down like a lawyer in the street. We'll make this class action, dude.
So you can give me my $57 and or I can go out to my car where I may or may not have a firearm. And then you're going to get your $57 back.
And you have to phrase it just like that. That way it's not
you say, "Doctor, I have a gun." Be wary with your implements, doctor.
Right now.
Treat this mouth as if it were your last chance to live to see the evening. I hate the dentist. It's so awful. Having to sit still that long sucks. I haven't been to the dentist since the beginning of COVID. It's been almost 3 years.
Yeah, longer for me. I went the other day and then got mad at them.
I go every 6 months.
Good for you.
I'll go when something starts to hurt. When something starts to hurt.
What, he's going to the dentist? Like, what are you friends with the guy? Every 6 months.
Every 6 months. Hey, we'll grab a beer.
Are you having an affair with your dentist? Is Jackie asking questions yet? Every 6 months.
Every 6 months. Pinky up.
Gotta be such a financial
6 months.
Gotta be a financial burden at this point. Every 6 months. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they also say change your toothbrush every 5 years.
I do like an old toothbrush.
This is just a 5-year-old toothbrush.
I do. With the toothbrush, it's all like sprayed out and it's to the sides. Yeah. It does gums better. And when you brush your retainer, the thing is like U-shaped now. Works great.
There's a point with like the comfort of the old brush though, where it's so comfortable that you have to be like, there's no way this is scrubbing like anymore. Like I need to get back in the mix.
I don't think you want it to scrub. I think that's
you want it to be light, like a light scrub, but you still want to get like subgingivally, like under your gum line.
You can't just make up words when you're trying to prove your point.
Oh, I will.
Well, look, Woody, when you see Dr. Phillips on Tuesday, ask him about that word.
Phillips on dude, I get calls from my eye doctor all the time, and they want me to come in for like eye appointments every 6 months, which is retarded. Like the only reason I get my eyes checked is when it starts to get like dangerous to drive at night because my eyes have gotten too much worse in my glasses. And like this lady called me for like the second time in just the last month or two where she's like, hey, we wanted to, it's been a year since your last appointment, wanted to get you scheduled for your eye exam. And I was like, no, like I will, I appreciate your concern. I will call you when I need to, like, I even told her, I'm like, I have 6 more months of contacts left. I'll give you a ring. Like when I run out, because I'm not going to go do it now.
If your vision was good enough, Taylor, you would have spotted the caller ID. The fact that you took that call implies you need to see the eye doctor.
Yeah, it says eye care place, like giant. No, because like think about it like this. So like when your eyes are constantly getting a little bit worse, when do you want to go in? You want to go in right before you need your new prescription. Right before. So it's as accurate as possible. I go right now, get a new prescription, I still have 7 months of contacts to run through and these glasses.
You've got to find somebody who's
also
partially blind and
also
sell them
partially
to them.
blind. Yeah. And like, because I don't wear my contacts as recommended often, like that 7 months supply, that's an easy 10 months. Easy.
Holy shit.
And like,
are contacts
now
expensive?
It's 10 months. They are expensive. The kind I have are monthlies. So like you can leave, like Dirty's like got the real bad situation with those hard contacts. Like it's rare that your eyes are so fucked up with like astigmatism that you still in 2022 need hard contacts. Most people can find a soft contact that works around it. But yeah, I feel bad for his eye situation. Like hard contacts fucking suck. Them getting cloudy all the time. He has to take them out and clean them like everybody with hard contacts does. His eyes probably get dry as shit. Like they're just, there's a reason everybody who has contacts does everything in their power to avoid hard contacts.
I've always thought glasses look good on, like, for most people, I think that good frames are an improvement on their standard look. I don't know. I like girls with glasses. I think guys look more distinguished with glasses. I think women look attractive with glasses. I like glasses. Dirty's glasses suck. They give him bubble eyes. Like his eyes are so big that it's hard to take him seriously in conversations. Yeah. Like you look up, you're like eating a meal and he says something, you look up, you're like, dude, I forgot. don't give me that look.
What's going on in Sunnyvale?
Must be pretty nice to get out of a trailer park, Bubs?
Taylor, do you worry that you'll graduate to hard contacts?
No, I don't think it'll get that bad for me. My mom had like eyes that tracked at about my level as she got older too, and they naturally like taper off. Like the difference between my eyes now and my eyes a year from now, I might get a tiny bit worse, but like not at all the difference between 15-year-old me and like 17-year-old me, where every time I went back, it was like, fuck, again, this number is getting huge on the side of the box, -7, -8. So very, very fortunate. And like my glasses are just now getting to the point that if I have to go any bigger, I'm going to start getting like the Dirty effect, a small bit, but that's okay because it just means I'm a genius.
Mm-hmm. That's what it means. It means you're smart.
You're a genius. It doesn't mean you have like bad genes and that you would have been dashed upon the rocks like 1,000 years ago.
Man, it would have sucked, thousands of years ago. Mm-hmm. What am I saying? Thousands of years ago, bifocals were invented by Benjamin fucking Franklin.
Oh yeah,
like the same guy who invented electricity. In my version of things,
I would have been useless 400 years ago. 400 years ago, I would have had fucking nothing to offer. I just would have been the least accurate like plow slave. Like,
making curvy lines,
just ruining the harvest.
Looks good to me.
Yeah,
I yelled at a dentist the other day. It's been months now, but no, because they don't. It wasn't public. I guess the front of their office is public-ish. That was when I went in for that fucking emergency root canal, and they didn't have a dentist there who could perform a root canal.
Oh,
and I was like, well, what the fuck am I doing here for?
How does the dentist not be able to do a root canal?
Like it's even work. Like I went on their website and like filled out the form, and they're like, "What do you need?" And I'm like, "Emergency root canal." And so like I go in for my appointment, and she's like, "Hey, can I help you?" I'm like, "I'm here for the emergency root canal." She's like, "Oh, okay." And I like go past her through, and it's like a horse trough system of like bays, and like she goes in and like looks at my fucking tooth. She's like, "Oh yeah, oh wow." She's like, "We're gonna take an X-ray," and she like X-rays it, and she like shows me, and then she takes a camera and take some pictures of it, and then like a dentist comes in and she like shows me the X-rays and the pictures, and she's like, "Yeah, you need a root canal." And I'm like, "Yeah, fucking hop too."
Let's go. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why we bothered with what's got to be.
I brought my credit card and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know why we bothered with what's got to be $200 or $300 worth of like. Are you going to sign those? Did I put those? Like, I don't know. But let's get this out of here. And they're like, no, no one here's like certified to do root canals or anything. So we would need to refer you to our like Atlanta office in Dunwoody or something. They're gonna send me to a different kind of dentist in like fucking Dunwoody or some shit. And it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I paying y'all for? I'm like, I'm not paying y'all anything for any of this. Like, you have wasted my time.
You have wasted my time and my entire day.
I'm gonna shoot everybody.
Day to you.
like I paid for parking. Like, this is in a really fancy area.
Can you validate this?
No, they didn't validate my parking. It was,
the nerve of them.
No, that's weird
you
though,
should have
bro. Like,
stolen
who goes to
something on the way.
dentistry school and not know how to do root canal? I thought that's like basics.
I think what it was
Yeah,
is
it's gonna
they
be
don't
day
want to.
one.
I think that's like some sort of business model where they're paying like a fucking junior dentist. Well, that's what I told her. I told the lady out front, and the lady out front got way too defensive because I wasn't attacking her. I was clearly attacking the people in the back. She got a whole attitude. I was like, y'all don't have any dentists here. She's like, did you see the dentist? I'm like, there's not a dentist that back there. So what are you talking about? There's 3 or 4. I'm like, no, y'all got a bunch of tooth cleaners back there.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all
Dental
clean teeth. That's not dentistry. Like, I can fucking brush them up real good. Give me that little swirly thing and Mr. Thirsty. I'll put a tent up outside, hang my fucking shingle too.
Is Mr. Thirsty the vacuum that sucks your saliva out?
I bet there's not a syringe in the room. Oh, that's what they offered me. She was like, we could numb it up for you.
Really?
I was like, are you going to numb me
you.
up and send me across the street to the real dentist? They're like, no, the appointment would be like weeks from now. And I'm like, fuck you. Fuck
That's
you.
messed up, bro.
Fuck
That's
you.
crazy.
I
That is
broke
bullshit.
that bitch off and just kept going.
Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds suspect. I don't know.
You should have
what
got
kind
your
of-
money's worth. Like, does this dick look big to
Yeah.
you?
I didn't. I didn't pay. I
You
didn't
know
pay
what?
for any
Scan
of
me
that.
again while I'm here. Like, just keep getting X-rays.
No, I didn't pay for any of that. And they tried to contact me because I made a stink about it on here and like maybe mentioned their name or something like that. But I just refused to take their calls.
Yeah. It's called dog shit dentistry of Atlanta.
That was so funny when that dude. The best was when like I talked shit about that motorcycle dealership for giving me a hard time, and the viewers of the show wrecked their Google reviews so goddamn bad that the owner of like, and it's like a chain of like 15 dealerships. Like the owner's called. He's like, I just got off the plane. They're telling me there's been a real snafu here, Mr. Myers, and I just want to know what can we do to make you happy and get you onto one of our bikes, like whatever it takes. We'll give you a heck of a deal. And I'm like, I'm on my new bike right now. I bought a more expensive bike. I paid more for it. Like it was like $2,000 or $3,000 more. I was like, you know, and told him the whole fucking story. I don't want to. Anyway, I think he was like, we would like you to go to the dealership and like maybe help us and help. They wanted me to go to the dealership and talk to the manager there about how she could train her employee to handle those situations better.
It's not even working for free.
Send him an invoice.
And I'm just like, I'm not going to go back there. I
No,
was
why
like,
would
I'm
you,
not
bro?
going back there. I'm on my new motorcycle right now, having a great day. It's like,
Yeah.
I hope those Google reviews clear up though.
Do you hope
Yeah,
that?
y'all were ferocious on that. Y'all fucked
Dude,
them
my
up.
favorite was at one
Beautiful.
point in this story,
Beautiful.
they're like, we don't sell motorcycles, we sell fun. And the reviews were like, they sell type 3 fun.
Yeah. Like everybody was basically making their review. My friend Kyle went there and then like a paragraph that said like how they treated me and like over and over and over again.
Beautiful.
So that they didn't appreciate that. I think they fired that
Beautiful.
guy. That guy was an asshole. I was
he?
there to. Yes.
I'm just asking, like was he
Oh,
an
yeah.
asshole or was he just doing what that store wanted him to do?
Oh, he was an asshole. Yeah,
Okay.
they don't like have a. I would be very surprised if in this little motorcycle store they have like a training where they're like, here are the ABCs of selling. This is what you need to do. I think they're just kind of turning them loose as salesmen in general. But no, he was a dickhead. And like I just had spent like, I don't know, however much all of my gear cost, like in that store. I told the guy on the phone, I was like, I just had spent like $1,500 at your store last week. I was there to spend 10 more thousand, and I planned on spending at least another $1,000 or $2,000, like Bluetoothing my shit out and getting bags and stuff there. Like, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a great consumer.
and you couldn't have upset me more and treated me more poorly.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want to deal with your thing. But I'll tell my viewers that you were nice and they should leave you alone because you've dealt with the salesman or whatever.
damn.
Mhm.
I could have used you guys many times on. Oh my gosh, trust me.
I mean, all you gotta do is go on Twitter, be like, "Look what just happened." You see, look at this motherfucker right here, guys. This is the guy. His name. You just throw people out there, throw this shit on the internet these days. I see that on YouTube all the time.
Oh gee, well,
People are wild.
See, I have a thing where, I mean, the black thing, because I'll go into certain stores a lot. And you're pulling the race card, but there's a difference between, getting treated differently and being followed on the stores. And then I went to I like suits, I like fashion, men's clothing and stuff, right? And I go to a certain clothing store. It was just a while ago, so I'm not going to get into it, but I'm looking at some Boss and Tom Ford suits and stuff. And I was in track pants and stuff. I no gold chains outside, nothing like that, right? No hood stuff. But I go in there and it's an upscale store, and the guy looks at me and he goes, our clearance rack is downstairs if you want to take a look.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, straight off the bat. Straight off the bat.
Apparently they can make my teeth perfect in about 15 months. So you guys will be like, the pandemic's over. What's with the mask, Woody? And I'll be like, I don't know. I'm just wearing it.
Yeah, really. You missed the ball on that one.
I should have been.
In like March 10th, you should have been going in there. You'd be almost done. Well, not really, but a good chunk in.
Be further along.
I hate dentist stuff. I fucking hate it. I hate going in. I hate sitting still that long. Well, you've never had to sit still as long as I have for like tooth stuff, I would imagine.
Like how long?
Yeah.
I think it was like 9:30 in the morning till like 3:34 in the afternoon.
That's absurd.
To get all the.
Was there an intermission?
Say it again. Did you say 9 to 3?
Yeah, it was like 6 hours. It was an enormous amount of time to be sitting there. I was so hungry by the end. Yeah, I had a TV, but I was like watching local news on mute. And
we watch trash TV.
I couldn't focus on anything other than the fact that, like, when something new is introduced into your mouth, you feel it immediately. Like even the tiniest little fleck of food, you're like, oh, that's fucking there. I know exactly where it is. I got to go get it. When someone is doubling the size of all your teeth, like I'm laying there for 6 straight hours, stressed as fuck, because I'm just like, I can barely move my tongue around in here. Because the way they started is they just block a bunch of shit up there, and then they start like shaving it down and everything, and it got smaller over time, but it felt awful. Like I remember going to Chick-fil-A right afterward. So like, you can eat right now. And I was like having trouble chewing, like, cause my teeth now lined up correctly. And I was used to like cross mouth chewing the way I had my whole life. It was like a weird, probably
like a cow does, like the way they like do their bottom and top jaw like this.
Yes. Yeah. I ate cud. I chewed cud because my teeth lined up exactly on top of each other. And so there was there was nothing to do.
Holy shit.
I was so self-conscious about how I ate, like in high school and everything.
You're chewing like a fucking ventriloquist puppet. Like a fucking ventriloquist puppet.
I was chewing like a holiday nutcracker, basically. And I remember once I was sitting, like, you know how these things stick with you from like high school? I was sitting there like eating lunch at a table with my friends, and one of my buddies, still good friends with him to this day, looks at me, he's like, why the hell do you eat like that? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're fucking chewing. Why do you chew like that? I was like, I don't know, man. And so still remember that. I remember going up to the next class like, damn, that rough. This is a massive blow. Like, I've been doing this in front of everyone forever. I look like a retard, apparently.
I had it worse. So what is the TMJ? Something muscular joint in your jaw. Do you know this joint? No. Okay. So the joint right by your earlobe where your jaw goes up and down. And the acronym for it is TMJ. And I had this weird problem where if I took a bite out of something big, like a hoagie, Subway, like type sandwich, that it was incredibly painful. So what I would do is I'd take my 2 fingers to my lower jaw and like dislocate it like a snake, at which point I could eat big things. And like as a lifeguard, my daily meal was like a turkey and cheese and mustard sandwich in like one of these Subway rolls, a hoagie. And I'd just be like, look a little left, look a little right, dislocate, eat the thing. And then, like, and
you have to like pop it back in?
Just closing my mouth would put it back in. So I had to be careful to eat in such a way that I didn't, like, if I closed it all the way, well, fuck, now I have to pull it back out with my fingers again and like a snake. And it would make it would make a sound. No, you probably wouldn't hear it even if you were next to me, but of course it's like in my ear. Like I can hear it click back in place or thud back in place. So yeah, I just like low key did that. I went to an oral surgeon about it, and he basically said like, we can try and fix this with TMJ pain. There's a low success rate, and the way they fixed it involved Teflon. There was like a high suicide rate because it like leaches into people and makes them like
Jesus
pain. And I was like, yeah, let so the one thing he suggested, he's like, let's look at the foods that cause you trouble. It was like steak, large sandwiches, mostly things you had that were like a little more challenging to eat.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you switch to bread, see how that works. And so I made some lifestyle changes, so I didn't have like hard to chew things, and it got better in a couple months.
So you still can't eat a Subway sandwich, or
I can now, yeah. But I'm like wary that if that were to become like a daily diet change, it could go back.
Yeah, you don't do that anyway. It's mostly sugar.
Yeah, right. It's not real bread.
It's absurd to read that their bread isn't legally bread in some countries.
Ireland, yeah.
Well, I mean, it tastes like shit. It's pretty awful bread.
Wait.
Subway is what Kyle's talking about, right?
I don't think it's
you,
bad bread.
Taylor.
Oh, I don't like the bread.
No,
Mr. Bread connoisseur over here. Subway bread's not good enough for him.
I remember going in the first time they introduced the Asiago cheddar bread. I was like, that sounds great. And I must have ordered during the Great Cheese Famine of 05 because there were 5 flecks of cheese on top of it. I had half a mind to burn that establishment down.
You were just expecting the whole top of the sandwich to be a big Cheez-It. And
there was a huge sign that said Asiago cheese, and the picture was coated.
The top of that fucking sandwich is covered in goddamn cheese, and that wasn't enough cheese for you?
It wasn't this time.
They put cheese on the inside of the sandwich as well.
It was the Great Cheese Shortage of 2005.
Tell me something, Charlie. How much cheese would you say you eat on a given day?
I do need to slow down on the cheese. I got my blood tested, and my cholesterol is a little high.
Really? Was it?
Yeah. Are you serious? I talk all the time about how many deli meats and cheese. It's not a bit. This is how I live my life. So I go in.
My cholesterol's fine. I'm pushing 50, Taylor. I have like a family history.
I'm being
how many blocks of cheese do you eat
it's
a day,
not
Woody?
it's not that high, but it is a little high.
Was it in the green range?
No, it was just out of the green range. Okay. So it was, it said, like, as you go through the list of everything, it's like, liver, kidneys, vitamins, and like the fine, good.
Triglycerides.
And then it was like cholesterol, little in the danger zone there. So we need to back off. So I need to make some different decisions about deli meats and cheeses. Eating red meat 5 times a week. Not the best. Not the best thing to do. It's weird. It's like, I guess I can't eat whatever I want all the time anymore.
People eat red meat in the vertical diet. I've been watching YouTube videos about it. I haven't made the plunge yet, but one of the challenges with diet is there's a little to it getting educated, if you want to do it right, I guess. I'm fine with wearing a mask. It's certainly not a problem. And if it helps other people, like, it's definitely not going to do any harm. And it seems like it does some good. Whatever. No big deal, right?
Does it fog up your glasses? Because it is.
Yeah, which is why you guys talk about wearing it in the car. But I almost always have sunglasses in the car, and I instantly notice. So I can leave it on by accident without thinking. But with sunglasses on, I never forget.
I always wear sunglasses, and it always fogs them up.
So mask is fine. I'm pro-mask. But I'm not really for mask theater. Today I went to the dentist. And they have you all about the mask, right? They take your temperature when you walk in the front door, and they ask you. Not only do they ask me a bunch of questions, but they had me go on my phone and fill out an online questionnaire. And I'm doing this from the waiting room. It's not like adding any security or anything. And I turn and they're like, "All right, cool. Now we know you're okay." Yeah, I am already here. Like, this is all theater. Yeah. To pretend that we're stopping the spread of the virus. And that's what's silly to me. Restaurants are the same. Dentist, orthodontist, restaurant. These are places where you aren't actually wearing the mask. It's just mask theater.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, well, now that you filled that out and you're safe, Mr. Woodworth, go ahead and pop that mask off. I'm going to put my hands in your mouth.
Right? Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. So why would you, dude, if there is a sillier place to pretend you can have this under control, I have not heard it, than a dentist's office. Right. Like, there's no possible way to keep it under control of the dentist's office.
They did have a, it was like, the the X-ray thing they have. It's like a tube that shoots at your head. It was that, but it was suction. And I guess the idea was that any breath I exhaled, it was.
They had a gigantic Mr. Thirsty there for you. Okay,
Mr. Thirsty.
Yeah, you know, when you went to the dentist as a kid, you had Mr. Thirsty.
That's what they called it, dude.
Yeah.
I still have this anxiety.
Am I the
I
only
almost
one?
did it today.
No, they called it King Sucks a lot.
I have this anxiety. Almost happened today. They polish your teeth. I guess they call it. They use that circular brusher polish it, and then they rinse it off. So now there's a supernatural version or amount of water in your mouth, more than you would have with just saliva. And they want you to like suck on Mr. Thirsty. And I'm on my back, and I came so close to making a fountain, just like.
I was at the orthodontist once, and like I was maybe like 14, 15, getting like fitted for braces where they take the mold, and I was like, even leading up to it, I was telling him like, you know what I'm talking about, that big awful tray that they put in your upper and lower
for the
jaw.
X-rays.
For the mold, to get your mold for your teeth, so they know, where the problems are and what they need to fix. And that big giant slather of pink goo, I could still taste it. And I remember them putting it in my mouth, or about to, and I was like, I've almost thrown up from this before. This looks like you put too much on there. Can you take a little off? And they were like, it's going to be fine. And they put it in there in my mouth, and immediately I feel all that pink paste mushed up. And so it was probably two scoops from Cold Stone of this pink shit in there. And as she mushes it up, like probably 3 dollops ooze down the back of my throat, and I just go, so I threw up with all that stuff in my mouth at the dentist's office. So there's like little bits of like pink, like that's starting to harden coming out, and it's stuck in. It was awful. She took me seriously for the lower part of my jaw.
Yeah, you taught her. You did show that bitch a lesson.
After that, they paid attention.
Yeah. Oh God, I hated
that. I didn't hate that stuff as much as you, although I don't think I've ever had a triple dose.
Yeah, it's never been that much.
Yeah, I've had some really, and there was this like actual, when you're a kid, like it doesn't pop in your head like, oh, this adult is like just bad at their job. You think like I'm in the wrong, I'm a kid, like I defer to them. And so like this is more when you're like 7 or 8, you're like sitting there and like it's intense pain, like scraping your gums, and you're like, God, the dentist is hard. And it's like, then you realize, and I think I was probably 15, 16 by the time my dentist gave me like a new hygienist, and I realized that like, oh, that woman was just an absolute butcher that had me before, because this new lady's nice, and is that okay? Is that hurt? And it's like, oh, well, thank you for asking. Like, that's sweet of you. You don't just tell me that I'm not brushing well enough because I can't withstand a fucking gladius assault to my gum line.
I'm not a big conversationalist at the dentist.
No. Dentists who want to talk are assholes.
It's hard for me to talk here. You've got pointy things or not. Maybe just a mirror in my mouth. I feel a little vulnerable when I'm laying down on my back in the chair and they're over me in this like position of advantage. I feel like that female dentist hygienist could kick my ass if we started from that position. Like I'm fighting off my back here. I got a problem.
A series of tiny stabs.
And I would rather just be quiet. And my dentist has Netflix on the ceiling and stuff with the captions on, and like I'm happy to just watch the slideshow and not do it, not talk during the whole thing.
Yeah, like same as a haircut. Like I feel like if we're talking, you're not going as fast as you could, and I want you to go as fast as you can when you're cutting my hair or working on my teeth. Just get it done. Let me go home.
I haven't had a professional haircut in over a year now. These are all homemade dues, baby.
They're all open around here. You just have to wear
I go. Yeah, I go. No, you don't have to wear a mask here.
Really? Yeah, you'd have to wear it. And then, except it doesn't make sense because then you have to take it off so they get your ears. And then it's like, well, what
you don't have to wear a mask anywhere here, Taylor.
It's a blue state. I almost fucked that up. I forgot. With red undertones.
You don't have to wear a mask anywhere. I mean, there's some businesses that are like, hey, you got to wear one here. And it's like, all right, well, I guess I do.
Yeah.
But like, you don't have, there is no mask mandate in the state of Georgia that I've ever heard of. But when you're getting your hair cut, there's like, you can leave your mask on or you can get a good haircut. It's up to you. I'm just like, I'm popping this bitch. I mean, you got a mask. Everybody else got a mask. I'm happy to be the only one without a mask. Like, let's go. Yeah, absolutely.
I came here to get my hair cut, not look foolish as I leave with like 2 big tufts of hair they couldn't get to behind your ears.
Decided. I think I have a preference. See, Jackie's not that bad at cutting hair. Not that great. We have seen the bad one. Remember when Landmark was on? But we cleaned that up, and it's like, I think I'd rather have a 7 out of 10 free, convenient haircut over a 10 out of 10 $20 haircut that takes me like, what does it take? 2 hours maybe? Round trip that thing? 2.5 hours?
How far away
I
is
live
your
close.
I live close too, but there can sometimes I wait 30 minutes before
make an appointment.
Yeah, I always make
my place does that.
It's quick.
Yeah, you can even go online. Go online and like reserve your spot, and then like walk right in and sit right down.
It's just like, I don't know how to describe like men's barber, right? Like hairy armed dude in old chairs.
I don't want that anyway. I'm wanting an overweight white woman with purple hair.
Yeah, all the people that cut my hair are women.
Oh no, they're all dudes that work here, and I don't know. That's what I always thought. Like to me, that's a guy's haircut. It's not a salon. It's a guy's haircut place.
I would prefer a salon. If they want to shampoo me at some point, I'd enjoy that. You ever get your hair shampooed at the salon, Taylor? It's wonderful.
I've got it done at the place I get my hair cut. It's called the Hair Saloon for Men.
It's wonderful. They get their fingers in there. It's like, oh yeah, this is great.
You know what amazes me? The temperature's perfect the moment it hits your head. Right? They just, it's never too hot. It's never too cold. And I'm like, what? Like every faucet in the world, I have to warm up for a minute. And somehow yours just comes straight out awesome.
They dial theirs in to like 99 degrees and it's just perfect.
It must be right underneath the sink or something. Like the heater.
It's funny that you say a fat purple-haired woman, Kyle. Not the purple-haired part, but the fat part. This fat white lady that like when I go in and I happen to get her, because I always just make an appointment and I'll take whoever, she is my favorite. She has cut my hair before, and I think it was 11 minutes. It was so fucking fast. It was
Point me at the TV, faster's better. Yeah. Go.
It's like 9:15 in the morning. Can I get an appointment for 9:30? Yeah, go in. At 9:48, I'm back home with my hair cut. Like the
lady that cuts my hair is a PKA fan, actually. Like her boyfriend watches it, and I don't know. She talked to me and she asked me what I did, and I was like, like why I was there so in the middle of the day. He's like, oh, you work from home, and one thing led to another, and I told her the whole thing, and she's like, oh yeah, oh I watched that, yeah, my boyfriend loves that. The Bible stories. Are you the one that tells the Bible stories? And I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Did you like the story of Jonah and the whale? That's a good one. Yeah.
Stolen valor. It's not fun when it happens to you. I get it.
I like. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Dude, that happened at my haircut place. Like, are you the guy from the podcast? It's like, I'll be finishing my haircut elsewhere. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm on Rooster Teeth.
No, I'm another fat guy.
I didn't mention anything about my podcast or whatever to the dental hygienist. The dentist rolls in, and it's Woody, tell me a story, and it always puts me like on the spot. You know, like I'd like a personal performance. Go. So I told him all of Kyle's recent adventures over the last 2 years or so. And after he leaves, the hygienist is like, what's your podcast? I want to watch it. And I'm like, no, it's not for good people like you. It's for bad people.
I tell him. I'll be like, I'm like, it's pretty adult themed. We use a lot of bad words. And I was telling a nurse the other day, she was like, I'm a grown up. I like dirty stuff. I was like, it's real dirty, even better. All right.
You know what? Here's my number. We'll watch it together.
Nah, here's a big one.
Not the right one. All right.
You know what? You can come watch it. Bring your stuff though. You know, this is every 2 weeks you can watch it with me. Bring your shit.
You're gonna need some rubber gloves to watch this show. Don't ask why.
That'd be a good little setup. Have a person come to your home and cut your hair.
Oh, this was a nurse. Oh, that lady was weird though. That cuts my hair. I like her.
I like her very much.
Shit. Sorry.
Ruin his hair next time.
Get him.
Oh, all right. I said she was fat too, didn't I? God damn.
You have to find someone new.
Oh, Kyle.
I mean, she knows.
Yes, she does. Fat people do know they're fat. Probably better than
God
anyone.
damn it.
Yeah.
Well, he feels bad.
No, I don't. I just now have to go somewhere else to get my hair cut.
That's why he feels bad. What it did
You don't
to
even
him.
do a very good job.
Oh, wow. It's over now. It's over now. There's no coming back from this.
Shit.
Yeah. Are you due for a haircut now? I can never
Yeah,
tell.
it's long. Yeah, it's long.
Hear it over when it's like
Yeah.
Mine's long,
long as
too.
shit. Yeah, my hair just grows out, and then like once it gets too poofy, I need to trim the sides. Already
Yeah, it's
getting-
definitely it's time for me. I was considering going today, but didn't make it.
I haven't been to the
now-
dentist in a year.
Yeah, I need to go to the dentist as well. I've got a broken tooth. I've got a where I got a root canal. I never got the permanent cap put on, and I just rolled with the.
Situation is old, Kyle.
I know, and I just rolled around with the temporary cap for like 7 years, and until the temporary cap shattered while I was chewing some gum about 6 months ago, and
This is
so now
always-
like up here in the top, I've just got a hollow tooth. It's just like the outside of a tooth, and the middle's all gone. So I like every time I eat, I have to like go brush my teeth really carefully to like get all the food out of my hollow tooth.
you gotta go to
Get it fixed. And for
That-
all you know, this situation is worsening. That by not fixing it,
Yeah, I can't feel anything because it's had a root canal. They drill the
Right.
root out and
They're-
fill it up with epoxy.
it's quite possible they can either put a proper cap on or whatever it's called and make you fine, or they're going to be like, well, if you had come 3 months ago, we'd do that. But now we're looking at removing the whole thing and screwing something into your jawbone. And
That's
But what they might
literally accurate. Yeah, everything you said is completely right.
if you would have come in 6 months ago, you could have taken care of this. But at this point, you could wait another 6 months. And
that's how I am sometimes with home repairs. Jackie's like, there's rotting wood over here and something. And I'm like, well, that wood's only 40% rotted. Why would you replace it now?
it's called slow compost.
It seems like if we wait,
Well, that's going to be an issue around 10 years from now. I think.
yeah, if we let it get 60% rotted, then we've gotten more value out of what's there now. This is just math.
That's true.
But we actually have a guy working on the house now. I had a whole list of them, and he did a bunch of plumbing things, it's fixing our front porch. Gonna be nice.
Jeremy, so as you know, I think he is like fourth or fifth cousins, like down here.
No,
Everyone's
that's not
fucking
even
related, right?
fucking
So,
barely related.
but
You could marry
it's this guy that like worked for me for years, Josh, and he had these very rotten teeth, like meth. He had like meth mouth.
Okay.
Not from meth though. I know that for a fact. Just
from
just not
neglect.
taking care of them and plenty of like sodas and shit or whatever. Anyway, rotten, disgusting, hard to look at. My cousin Scott is a normal human being who brushes his teeth and is a handsome fellow. Anyway, the two of them
Pinkies up.
are hanging out. Yeah, just differentiating the two. But I guess they were somewhere. I think in a Walmart parking lot. So classy. But Jeremy like pairs off with this girl, and Scott looks, and they're like making out. Like Jeremy and this girl are making out over there, and I guess Jeremy like leaves or goes away from the situation, the crowd, and Scott goes over to her. He's like, "How can you do that?" She's like, "What? How can you kiss him? What are you talking about? He's all right looking. I'm talking about his teeth. How can you put your tongue in his mouth and kiss him? You've seen him, right?" She'd only seen him in the darkness of the parking lot. He goes, "When he comes back over here, look in his fucking mouth. What are you doing?" He said,
Damn, Scott is a hater. Fuck, man. I don't like that.
he just didn't want her to get infected.
He's a lifeguard, really.
Dude, they're so bad. Look, you'd want to look out for somebody too. Like it would be like, hey, he's a dog man, right? What do you mean? He's half dog. Didn't you look? He's got a tail. God damn it! You've been making out with a dog man. Like you got to let people know.
Those teeth were problematic. Like I don't know how I don't think I've ever seen teeth worse than that on a healthy person.
Were they,
yeah,
like,
people would ask
nubs?
me about it.
Down
Some
to,
of them were
like,
nubs.
like
Some of them
black-
were these like, you know what they look like? You know those fucking, maybe you've seen them in
baked
RTS
beans.
games. Those like maybe Polynesian swords that are like pieces of sharp volcanic glass stuck in
the obsidian.
Like those obsidian, like that's what his teeth were. They were like separated and like round. Ooh. They looked serrated. They looked like they could put a real like.
How does that happen from
soda? They
look
like Gollum. Remember when he bites into that fish?
It was something. They weren't the right shape. They weren't the right color, and they certainly weren't pointing in the right direction.
And he didn't.
He really had it all.
He that was just from neglect, just from deciding brushing teeth, not for me.
And I know that he dipped, he smoked, and lots of Red Bull and Mountain Dew and stuff like that.
Don't you like brushing your teeth in the morning and at night to feel cleaner in your mouth?
I mean, I don't like party about it or anything, but I get in there and get it done.
If you went but I'm saying, Kyle, think about it. If you went 5 days eating and drinking and smoking weed and without brushing your teeth, way before that 5-day mark, you would be going, fuck, I want to brush, I want to clean my teeth. Way before.
Yeah, I've known some people who didn't brush. Obviously, I don't know what Jeremy did. Since then, he's gotten dentures, so he has a much better aesthetic. But I worked with a guy selling cars, and he was I would say 60-year-old black man, late 50s more likely. Big Ed. Big Ed was tall as shit, 6'5", 6'6" or something, former basketball player. And he never brushed his teeth. And they were super duper gross. And I asked him about it one time. I was like, Ed, what's going on with the teeth, boss? And he was like, I don't brush. I take peroxide and I dilute it. And he told me the ratio that he diluted it to, and I rinse twice a day. That's it. And I was cool.
It's not working.
I didn't press him any further. But they looked gross. I feel like you could see pus around them.
Sounds like you would just be in pain during the day. How do you function like that?
Teeth problems are very painful. You don't want that.
Well, I know with Jeremy, it was just always just super gross. I'm glad he got those fucking dentures. I give Jeremy a hard time. He's a. I guess he deserves a hard time. He's I'm pretty sure he stole a bunch of shit from me. That's fine. The government was going to eventually steal it anyway.
It's okay. It wasn't toothpaste. My floss is missing. All right. No, it's not Jeremy.
Who stole the mouthwash? Jeremy's over there with his stink mouth. Yeah, I remember
rotten fucking teeth.
Somebody pulled me aside once. Like we were shooting in Tennessee, and the guy that owned the property said, "Hey, other guy, what's going on? Is that meth? Is that methamphetamine?" And I was like, "No, I don't fuck with anybody that does any methamphetamine." I wanted him to know that because we're they're doing a bunch of money transaction trading hands, and I'm looking for a future deal with this man. I'm like, "Nah, we don't fuck with no meth. He's just a dirty redneck." And he's like, "Oh, okay, good. I could deal with that. Dirty rednecks, I like."
I like dirty rednecks too. I know a lot of them.
But it always just, you can see him in those videos that we shot. They look pretty rough.